Welcome to Tech Tuesday. My name is Abby Ritchie. I'm the founder of Senior Savvy, and you can find me right here every Tuesday talking with people who are engaged in age tech innovation and how that relates to your residents at your community. I've got a wonderful show planned for you, but before we do that, let's go ahead and run our intro. In the past couple of years, we found that so many residents have adopted technology. They've done it because they've had to. If they're going to connect with family and friends and find a way to meet with people, they've gravitated towards technology, whether they wanted to or not. But what I've seen is that they're 100% capable of doing that, especially when it fuels their purpose in life. And so today we're going to talk about how technology fuels purpose. And first, I want to invite my guest on today, my first guest, Anna Hall. Anna Hall is the founder of the Purpose Equation. And actually, Anna's been a colleague of mine for a couple years. So I'm so thrilled to have you on the show today. Welcome to Tech Tuesday, Anna.
Thank you for having me, Abby.
Yeah, you are welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here. Tell us about the Purpose Equation, please.
So, the purpose equation was born from my over 25 years of experience working in the senior living world. And I never felt like I worked a day in my life.
Uh-huh.
Part of that was because I had amazing older adults teaching me about purpose.
Yeah.
So eventually it became such a calling that I wanted to figure out what are the ingredients of purpose, because it's kind of a vague word, yet all of the research shows how powerful it is for our health and wellness. So I created the purpose equation. It's a framework that's evidence informed and time tested to help people of all ages discover and activate and define their unique purpose.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And when we're talking about senior living, how does this impact folks at senior living communities?
Oh my goodness, in so many ways. I mean, older adults or residents, as we call them in senior living, who are living with a sense of purpose are going to be more engaged in life.
Yeah.
Period. I think that's the simplest way to put it. It's an avoidance of stagnation. It's an excitement to rise every morning and do things that are meaningful. So the way that I define purpose is how we as individuals uniquely give and get meaning and joy on a daily basis. Purpose is not some goal or role or like external thing that one day we're going to achieve and then we've lived a life of purpose. It's really about our day-to-day life. And the other way that I learned about purpose was working for Connected Living.
Yeah.
I was one of the early hires there back in 2007 when no one believed that older adults would use technology.
Uh-huh.
And what I found in trying to figure out how to connect older adults with this, tech product that we had,
Mhm.
I realized early on, and I think we all know this now, that it's not just about, especially for older adults who haven't had a lot of experience with technology, it's not really like a delight with pushing buttons and electronics and seeing how things work, right? It's not like you build it and they will come and here's a cool tablet, like go play.
Yeah.
It's really, how can this be relevant to my life? How can this improve my daily life? It's a little bit utilitarian in a way. And I had a blast figuring that out. But since then, I now am layering purpose onto this tech adoption and engagement strategy. So relevance is, yes, this is useful to me. When we layer in purpose, it takes on another dimension and depth of meaning, which is, how is using this technology meaningful
Mhm.
to me? And that's really where the engagement begins.
Now, you wanted to have some guests on to explore this topic. Why don't you go ahead and introduce them and bring them on the show?
Okay, I'm so excited. So I met Daniel and Lev, I think through networking on LinkedIn, and
Mhm.
I was just inspired by our conversation because they have created a personal media platform called KinCapsule. And the entire like mission and the values behind this are about connecting people with what's meaningful to them, the people, the stories, the legacy, the experiences, and removing the friction, making interaction with the platform as easy and simple as possible so that the focus can be on meaning. So Lev and Daniel, welcome and thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
welcome.
that's great. Thank you so much, Anna and Abby. Great to be here and be a part of this discussion. I think it's very it's a critically important discussion, and we really truly see this convergence of storytelling and purpose and connecting people with technology. And so that's what we've done is we've built a platform that's purpose built for life story and personal legacy, and to help people manage personal digital content, but also to connect with people. And to tell their stories in a private, personal, and meaningful way. And through this kind of self-exploration and self-biography and self-authoring, or whatever you want to call it, people reflect and they are introspective and retrospective. And this helps people to find purpose, right? So many stories are lost and purpose goes unfound. And when we found Anna, it was just such a great connect, and it felt very natural because really our mission is purpose too. It's really about purpose, but we just have a sort of a digital platform that helps people do this better. So great to be on the show, and I'll just pass it to Lev to say a few words, and then we have a few slides just to kind of help sort of talk about who and what we are. But Lev, I'll pass it to you first. Go ahead and for an introduction. You're on mute, Lev.
Yeah, there you go.
A few words about the history of the project. The project was born a few years ago from my personal experience. When the old man dies, library burns to the ground is very well-known quote. And at some point, I found myself in St. Petersburg, Russia, in the middle of mom's condo after funeral, surrounded by documents, photos, letters, and I realized that maybe I know 20% of all this legacy, and I don't know the people on the photos. And the problem is the history of my family is really rich. We went through Stalin's gulags, World War II, but my mom was afraid to tell the stories because since her childhood, she was the daughter of enemy of the state. So therefore, she didn't want to share anything with anybody. And at this point, when I was sitting and I realized that I don't know anything about my family, and this history is really powerful and rich.
Yeah.
And as technology professional, I started thinking, what can we do? Because a lot of people, they are in exactly the same situation, and not only on the receiving end, but on the sending end. The people has no means to pass their story, their experiences, their legacy, their wisdom to the next generation.
Yeah.
So that was the beginning of the project. And then in a few years, I met with Daniel, passionate about this idea. And then we created 15 people team, also passionate about this idea, living basically all over the world, in Australia, Turkey, Europe, Ukraine, Poland, Holland, in Canada. And we created this product. Daniel, off to you.
Well, I just want to jump in for a sec, if I can. There's two things that I really love about KinCapsule from a purpose perspective. One is that Daniel and Lev have built this platform to where it's essentially a resident-driven experience. It's not so regimented that a resident logs in or anyone logs in and like the experience is built for you. You can create your own capsules with some guidance.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that. It's very empowering. And then the second piece is that there's just enough prompts in there to really spark sharing. And by sharing and exploring the past and the present, it is going to naturally help all of us who are engaging on the platform to also think about, as I explore the past and the present, how can I take that thorough line of meaning and joy and continue that in my life? And that's really what it's all about. You know, as we get older, we want to honor the past and learn from it and be able to share those lessons with future generations. And we also want to really focus on this precious time where we have time to focus on meaning and joy. And I think this platform is built to help really identify what that looks like.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You know, as we were putting this show together and the segment together, and as well as building off of the resident experience from last week, I have a student in one of my classes, and she just kept coming to mind over and over and over again. So I invited her to join us today because Martha is a student who is learning to use technology, not because she loves it, but because it's bringing her closer to her purpose and along with her other passions. And so I wanted to have Martha on today. Martha is someone who's been in my class for about a year and a half, every week learning tech basics. And I've seen her just really grow and blossom and able to do a whole lot more and experience her passions and her purpose because she's leaned into the technology. Welcome, Martha.
It's so good to be here. And I've just loved hearing from Anna and Liv and Daniel. Just, we're all part of the same club, I think.
Yeah, we are. Definitely.
Well, I'm 78. I live in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and I live at Friendship Village, Kalamazoo, in one of the 50 garden home condos out and back. Everybody who moves in, I go out and meet on my adult tricycle and befriend them. So there are 81 friends just, up and down the street. Gosh, my virtual background seems a little weird, but anyway, I'll keep moving. I am very active volunteer, organizer. I'm secretary of everything I join. I just got home from a Post Your Lifelong Learning class on brain games about a half hour ago. Member of many communities, not just the one I live in, but I sing Sacred Heart music. I'm, as I said, a volunteer with a lot of things. All right, so COVID hits. Well, we move in here in 2019, COVID hits, and suddenly all the people in my life are dangerous. Everybody's dangerous, right? So when Zoom popped up almost moments after we got the door slammed on us and the mask permanently on, unless we were in our own little capsule, Zoom brought people into my life daily, and I needed connections to people. That's just what I do. That's who I am. I'm also a hostess and a good cook, and like to have my house full. But anyway, I lost my husband 2 months into COVID, not with COVID, but other things. And of course, that was tough to get through. But again, the connections with Zoom just nurtured me. Lifelong learning went from face-to-face to virtual. And we just kept going. We kept organizing and recruiting wonderful people to push us through that long, dark tunnel. Now we're back about half and half on virtual and face-to-face because some people aren't comfortable yet. But anyway, I started Abby's Tech Time with Abby that done every week here and provided on Zoom for us by the village. And that was amazing because my husband repaired everything. If anything broke, he said, don't hover, go away. and he would fix my computer, or he'd fix my phone, or he'd fix whatever. And of course I lost him. And I thought, oh my God, how do I push forward? And I have single friends who do their own, tech problems. And I thought, if they can do it, I've got to find a way to learn how. And Abby has, because I go to her class and I take copious notes, and I step forward and do the things she's teaching me. And after some months, I realized that she had emboldened me. She had enabled me. She had opened a door, and I had willingly walked through and began even doing things that she hadn't recommended, just because I knew I could get into my settings and not burn the house down. That's what I was worried about. If I hit one wrong thing, the computer will never, talk to me again. So step by step, and every time we meet, I'm taking notes, and maybe 3/4 of the notes I don't need, but there's that one little gem that teaches me something new that I can do.
Yeah.
So long story short, I wrote a book with StoryWorth. I wanted to pass along stories to my kids of my life, and that was a wonderful experience, and they all have copies of it now, and those precious stories are not just inside, but they've been shared.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I've also been working with Noom, which is only on my cell phone, and I have a cell phone, but to me it's a way to get help if I fall. But this has forced me to log my weight, log every damn thing I put in my mouth, and it has forced me to get more phone literate.
Yeah.
And so, just by using these tools, that instead of using them in a limited way, I'm using them far more deeply. And of course, Zoom and its sisters and brothers have kept me connected to people far and wide, and family when I can't get to them. And so I'm eager to learn more. I'm always signing up for new stuff. So
That's right.
thank you for, Anna. I'm just in awe of what you have learned from seniors, but what you are enabling them to continue on to do with programs like Lev and Danielle providing. Bless
Well
you.
done.
Well, Martha, you inspire us with purpose. And I hear for you, like your purpose helped you through grief.
Mm-hmm.
It helped you to stay connected to people that are meaningful to you and with relationships. And then I also hear a lot of your purpose is about learning. You sound like an adventurous person, and that technology has given you this platform for you to share your purpose and expand it with others is absolutely inspiring.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well done. Well done. So when I hear the many connections that Martha's been able to make during this time in ways she never thought possible, I know that you can use technology to stay engaged and to grow your purpose equation, right, Anna?
Yes.
And
because
so
no one can give us purpose,
Mhm.
but people can create environments, cultures, platforms for that purpose to have an outlet and a way to grow and nourish.
Interesting.
Yeah, exactly. I just wanted to add to that is Anna and I were talking about this the other day, is the purpose is within. And so the things that you do, the people that are around you, and what you're surrounded by, those are just channels for you to channel your purpose into. And that's what KinCapsule is. And a similar story to you, Martha, one of our users lives in a retirement home. She lost her husband as well. She has 2 kids, grandkids. And through technology, through KinCapsule, she's been able to really stay connected in a more meaningful way and collaborate on stories. Her family is kind of like mine in a way, where when we get together as a family, there are people who have bits and pieces of the story, but when you come together, the story is completed, right? Old stories. My dad gets together with his sisters, and they're telling stories, and they know pieces of the story, and then he has his perspective of it. And in KinCapsule, you can bring this all together and patch these things back together before the stories die with people, and they go to the grave with you if you don't really get these stories out and record them. So it's really important. And to tie it to purpose, that's what we were talking about, is through storytelling and through exploring your past and your present and thinking about the future, you really can unlock your purpose and really become connected to it again. And that's what it's really all about. That's why we love Anna's work, and that's why that's our kind of our purpose now, if you will, is to help people find purpose through storytelling and connecting with each other.
And here's the thing, like, the way that I help people get in touch with their purpose is to help them create a story, an internal narrative about who they are as a being and how that shit goes out into the world with meaning and joy. And I also learned from Brene Brown that the true way to belong anywhere is to belong to yourself first.
Absolutely.
And the way that you can start belonging to yourself is to honor your story and write it down. Take the time to do that. I have heard through my career in senior living way too many older adults say to me, "No one cares about my story." And that's not true. We care about your story, especially with what's going on in the world now. We need these stories so that we are not caught in a cycle of repeating the past. We need to be better as a species and as a society and learn from this. And so sharing stories is both on an individual level, so replenishing and important and purposeful. And then share those stories. Like, we need your stories. Please share them.
And I heard you mention earlier that KinCapsule is available as part of an engagement platform. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So we work, I mean, there's many different types of users, but we work with some retirement and senior living communities. But it's really, direct to the user. So whoever wants to has a story, which is all of us, can get an account for KinCapsule. Martha, I'd love for you to put your stories in KinCapsule as well, and everyone who's listening today. And but yeah, 100%, Abby, that is true.
Great. Yeah, it seems like because it's already built in, it's easy to start working on it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's as easy as you signing up for an account, logging in, and then structuring it. So people have different ways of structuring your life story. It could be it could be chronological order. So in this example of Gail that I spoke to, she has she's got stories that she's got a couple of sort of what we call capsules. Think of them as folders. Okay. So she's got one for me, and then she has her family, and then her friends. And then under me, she's got baby life, childhood, teenage life, high school, college, dating. She's got some really funny dating stories that she remembers, and she wanted to capture these. And family recipes. There's family recipes all over the place. And she's got one for travel. She's traveled all over the world, so she's got it by continent, and then by country, and then by city. And these are all, she has stories that she has captured in still pictures, but then she can use audio to kind of bring these pictures to life. Right in the platform, you can use video. So all the multimedia tools are right in the platform. So you don't have people toggling in and out of devices. It's really easy to use. And then the great news is this is great for her to kind of tell her story now for herself. But she has a successor. We have a formal succession path and plan in the system. So her successor is her son. And there's some stuff that she hasn't shared. But when she passes on, he will get the account and have all these incredible stories that he can look back at mom and see her purpose and see where. And we have something that's called a map, for example. So you can pin your whole life by memory on this map, a digital map. And so Saul, they can enjoy it now, but when Gail passes on, her whole family is going to have her whole life in this priceless, meaningful account of her life story.
So I want to ask you the Steve Moran question that if he was here, he would ask, how much does it cost?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got three different. There's a number of ways that we're doing this. So one of them is if you're part of a retirement community, then it's going to be part of your plan or your package that you get with the retirement community. We've got a free version. So I think everybody, if you're listening in, take advantage of it. There's a free version, which is still very robust. You could live in the free version if you wanted and really create a great life story. But then we've got a complete package, and then we've got a premium package as well. So that's basically it's tiered. We're very early in our journey. We are a tech startup, so we're really just hitting the market now. And so that's where we're at in the journey. But check us out, KinCapsule.ca. KinCapsule.com is launching literally in the next few days. And that's where you can go and sign up and get your account.
And record your story with your voice. I love that part of it.
Yes, absolutely. Exactly. With your voice, with pictures, with video. That's one of the other things is think about where your life story resides now. We got stuff in social, stuff in LinkedIn, stuff in Instagram, stuff in Facebook. We've got physical pictures. We've got videos, old DVDs and VHSs. And then you've got stories up here that you haven't even shared yet. And so what we wanted to do is build this platform where you can create your life story in one place and manage it from one place as well.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. Well, with just a couple minutes left, I just want to ask my guests if there's anything else you'd like to share with our audience right now that we haven't already talked about.
Well, okay, then I'm going to jump in here
Yeah,
and say, if you're struggling to figure out what your purpose is, because you have it, everyone has purpose. Let's just level set with that. Think about what is meaningful to you and fulfilling. And then think about it maybe at work, what was meaningful and fulfilling. In relationships, what's meaningful and fulfilling. And you'll probably find that there's a thorough line through all of these different realms of your life that bring you this sense of meaning and joy and internal fulfillment. And when you find those threads of purpose, follow them. Because it's really important. This is my heart and my work here, to help people identify and love their purpose as a way of being, not based on what they're doing. And to capture who you are as a being through story. And purpose is also the underlying motivator that can help us as humans do hard things. And go beyond our comfort zone, like Martha described, right? You've tried all these new technologies in the past 2 years because you were motivated to make these connections, right? And so I'm sure Martha described and across all realms of her life, she's a connector. You're making relationships.
Awesome.
So follow those threads of purpose, and the right technology that's built in a thoughtful way can be such a beautiful space to be able to share purpose and connect with others. And that's what it's all about, us sharing our purpose with each other.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. I love that. Anna, what's the best way for people to get in contact with you to find out more information?
So you can go to thepurposeequation.com and check out the website. You could also email me directly, Anna@thepurposeequation.com. I love to meet new people and talk about purpose. So if anybody's curious, book a 15-minute meeting with me and I'd love to chat.
Wonderful. Thank you. And Lev, what's the best way for people to connect with you? And you just have to, there you go.
With me and with Daniel, you can connect through LinkedIn, and we will be happy to reply and get in touch. And just a few words about what we do, because our commitment is privacy and confidentiality, and everything is built around this concept. So people who want to share, they can share in privacy, security, and we have the whole technological and legal framework around our commitment to privacy, confidentiality, and ownership of information. So this is important. So get in touch with us on LinkedIn. We'll be happy to talk to you.
Thank you. And Daniel, how about you?
Yeah, same. Just wanted to echo what Lev said there. Thanks I can see it on the screen there, but yeah, Daniel at KinCapsule.com. KinCapsule.ca. KinCapsule.com is going to be up and running this week. And feel free to come to LinkedIn. We'd love to put a free version of this system in your hands and start working on your story, unlock your purpose, connect with Anna, connect with us. We just love, this is a passion project for us. So I don't feel like I'm working anymore either, like Anna now on this project. It's just a it's a real great way to connect with people and to share stories. So get in touch with us. We'd love to walk you through how to use it and sign you up and get you on your purpose.
Wonderful. And Martha, I don't know if you want people emailing you or not, but if someone does want to get in touch with you, what would be the best way? Through me?
Well, either that or it's my name, marthabeverly@gmail.com.
Okay. Thank you. Well, I would just want to thank you guys so much for joining me today. I got to tell you, out of all the shows I've done in the past year, this might be the one that moves me to tears because I feel the heart in this so much, and and the impact that this has on so many lives. And so I just want to say thank you. Thank you for finding this place that exists in all of our lives and for meeting this need, because it's so vital. So thank you for that. And for our folks that chatted in today and that joined into the discussion, thank you. We love you for doing that. And we will be back here again next week for another episode of Tech Tuesday. Thank you.